Booker.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I just want to put into the record that the witness appears to be so young that I don't think he can drink alcohol should he get confirmed. I'm a guy in a job at 50 that you're still considered young in the Senate, but this guy is...
I know you're saying what I was thinking.
Put me to shame, yes. Yes.
You're trying to say you're only 50?
I won't out this... you're mean, sir. You're mean. Let his cruelty be noted for the record. A lot of the staffers, sir, were whispering back here, wondering.
I meant you look a lot younger.
You do that, sir. You do that. A lot of my questions have been covered. I'm really happy to see you here, and I'm really encouraged by people on both sides of the aisle that seem to have a lot of high hopes for your leadership. I want to jump right in. I'm just grateful for the chairperson, the chairman, and the ranking members. The two of their partnerships with me over the last few weeks, trying to put together a discussion draft on spot digital commodity market regulations has been really vital and I think really important bipartisan work. Senator Klobuchar, Senator Bozeman have been phenomenal. I'm just grateful for your work over the last few months with the administration working on a policy related to digital assets, working with this committee as well as Senate banking. But even with rules of the road, you and I both know it's critical that we have regulators that are capable, competent, and who will both oversee the market and enforce the rules, which we've already talked about at quite some extent. You've spent the last 7 months at the SEC, which is a much larger regulator in terms of staffing, scope, and scale. And you're aware of this. The SEC has more than 5,000 full-time employees versus the 600 of the CFTC, with about 1,500 FTEs in the SEC's enforcement arm compared to just 161 here. You've heard it from multiple senators on both sides of the aisle with a couple of hallelujah amens from the chairman that there's a real problem right now with the capacity in the agency that you're up to lead. And I'm hoping that's something you've heard, and I'm hoping, as perhaps some of my colleagues want, that you're more bold in asking, as we hopefully get you more responsibility, that you start fighting and standing up for more of the resources necessary to do something that's really vital, especially when it comes to issues of security and safety that Senator Lujan so eloquently spoke to. I remain deeply concerned also by a lot of issues of corruption we're witnessing. I have a real problem that a president of the United States could issue a coin. That to me just opens up the door to a whole bunch of ethics problems. We're seeing that right now with this White House. It's making billions of dollars with foreign nationals investing in that coin. I'm really concerned about how agencies have lost a lot of their independence and are being weaponized to go after political enemies, that there's an undermining of regulators and other government agencies that serve taxpayers. There's politically motivated firings and more. I'm not even going to ask this as a question. I'm just going to say, should you be confirmed? I hope you'll prioritize this idea that Congress has had over generations now, that agencies such as yours should be independent agencies above politics, really fighting for the best interest of Americans, especially at an era where I think corruption is on the rise in American government, and a lot of people are worried about trust. So I just want to say that for the record, and I hope you can be that kind of leader that maintains that kind of independence. I want to get into some of the corruption we're seeing in American sports right now. It would be hard to have missed that in this past month the FBI indicted several NBA and MLB players that were trying to manipulate outcomes for profit. I'm a fan. As a college football player myself, the older I get, the better I was, I must say. So I could have been in the pros too. But the bad actors are caught because regulated sports books caught the suspicious activity. And given these recent events, it's all more concerning that sports event contracts are being offered without the same monitoring. All designated contract markets must comply initially and on an ongoing basis with 23 CFTC core principles, specifically core principle number 3, that requires contracts must not be readily susceptible to manipulation. And so you're going to be right there, should you be confirmed. And I want to make sure that you have strong integrity in your monitoring systems in place to ensure athletes, coaches, league employees, and referees, or any close family or friends or such individuals are not manipulating America's pastime, America's greatest sport, I'd say football, and more. And that's something I wanted you to hear from me since we didn't have a chance to meet privately. The last thing I want to go over is the greatest state in America. As clearly you agree with me, you can just nod your head, is New Jersey. It's historic. Our great Garden State is the East Coast home of gaming in the U.S. industry, employs approximately 51,800 people, garnering close to $2 billion in revenue. America should be thanking New Jersey more for all of our great contributions to this public, but one of them is we were really did the work to legalize sports betting across the United States. We were the ones fighting in court across this last decade to get that legalization. But New Jersey also fought for years to bring sports betting into the legal fold, then to be sued by those platforms and waste taxpayer dollars fighting for the right to police this activity is frustrating for our state officials and the 34 attorneys generals. And so, again, it's very important to me, and I'll end with this, that these sports contracts have enforcement mechanisms, with over half of the country's chief law enforcement officers saying these contracts break state laws that we're seeing. I'm just frustrated that the CFTC hasn't acted, and I'll let that be my real question to you after my statements.
Senator, thank you, and I do look forward to getting the opportunity to meet. I know we were unable to connect yesterday. And New Jersey, of course, is a great state. My wife sitting behind me is from.
You married
from the
up,
state.
obviously, if you married a Jersey girl.
That's
sir.
right. As are actually my parents actually are from the area as well. I think it's vitally important that the CFTC look to the courts on a lot of these issues. They're, of course, being litigated across the country, really. To the extent that any of these event contracts constitute gaming, of course, that's a question for the courts. But if they're trading in our markets, if the products are self-certified and the CFTC is allowing them to trade in the markets, of course, it's vital that the CFTC ensure that those contracts are not being manipulated, that they're not readily susceptible to manipulation. It's a core principle. And of course, if confirmed, that would be something that I would enforce.
Well, judges might hand down a decision in agreement with Jersey and 34 state attorney generals, and I'm hoping that you will then follow those courts, order companies listing event contracts related to sports events to stop operating in states in which the judges find them to be contravening state gambling law. So I'm hoping we can have a chance that you and I can discuss it. This, as you can see, is a committee that's just a lot of bipartisan agreement, and this is a space I hope you and I can have a dialogue on it. It's such an important industry to my state. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.